What's happening, folks, and welcome to a slightly different episode of the Man Utd Let's Play. No camera on this one because I don't think it requires it. And it's just a proper video to nail down and discuss the tactic, certain players, and all the rest of it about what we need to do going forward. And I thought I'd do this because my biggest problem on Football Manager, first of all, before getting into the video, hit the like button, subscribe, and comment down below on anything we talk about. I'd really appreciate it if you would. And down below in the description is my Let's Play channel as well, which has got Elden Ring and also God of War on there as well. Go check that out. I really appreciate it if you went over there because it's different content, and I don't want to bring it on this channel. I could do that very easily, but I don't think it really makes sense to do that. My biggest problem on Football Manager is not so much understanding how football works, it's understanding how the game works in terms of I want the game to do this, my players to do this. But what often happens is I don't give the correct instructions to players for the game. What I think should happen, what I'm seeing on here, is not what's happening. So this is essentially, it could be quite a short video. It's also going to go through some Louvre players as well and talk about those and what you guys think about that. So if you're really invested in this series, guys, and you want to give your thoughts, this is a great chance to influence where we go forward from here. So first of all, before we get into it, generally speaking, we're doing really well this season. I'm very pleased with the amount of green I'm seeing on the screen here. But we're nowhere near the title race. Now, you could argue if we don't drop points against teams like Bournemouth, Palace and Fulham, we're a lot closer. But why are we dropping those points? We got through Champions League group quite comfortably. We only lost to teams like ASUS and PSG. But look at the defeats we're getting here, look. Villa, Arsenal, Newcastle, Liverpool. The defeats in this competition, Milan, PSG. What can you see as the common denominator here? We are getting dominated and battered by the bigger teams because we don't control those big games. Now, is this down to just the squad needs to be developed more? Is it tactical? I think it could be a bit of both. But this is where I thought we'd give our discussion and talk about what we can do and what we think. So essentially what I want is I want my team to keep possession, high possession-based football. I want to do it in a 4-2-3-1. This is what... Obviously, these players aren't exactly the starters. Obviously, his injuries... Well, actually, you know what? Inacho probably goes in there with Todibo, probably. Right? Martinez, I'm reluctant. I mean, Inacho, he's good, but he hasn't got the pace. And I'm obviously thinking about selling him, obviously. A lot of these players, I think we might have to move on to do what we want to do. But let's just say we go for Martinez in there, right? We've got Todibo there, who's getting good passing. So I like pace. Let's say those two are the main back four, right? You get this guy off the bench. Yeah. So that's essentially the first team, right? You'd put Bruno in here, obviously, wouldn't you, as well? Bruno starts there. That is essentially the first team right now. The midfield three in the central area here is a problem we have to try and work out, potentially. But we can discuss this in this video today. So, essentially, what I want is the goalkeeper, and I'm going to move the players like this to distribute to the fullbacks quickly on the floor, fullback or centre back. Then, obviously, a deep line playmaker dictating the play, moving the ball through midfield, good tempo, ideally fast tempo, short passing, work it into the box, good angles. The wingers getting into these areas, Højlund causing problems. I'd like to keep him in a poacher role, make a pressing role if we wanted to. I don't know. With the idea being that the striker's in the penalty waiting for it, the wingers are getting in there, the fullbacks get forward. When we lose the ball, we then go aggressive and win it back. And we, in transition, we get the ball back and we quickly counter press, we counter, we go forward quickly. Again, working the ball into the box to create good opportunities. I want to play total football. I've never managed to pull it off Manchester United. Usually what happens is the team's so dominant and so good that it just batters teams because I get new gens and players like that. But I want to get to a point where we dominate every game we play. More often than not, we have the high percentage of possession and we keep possession under control and we press really high. The biggest problem I've got with the game is what do you need to get those to work. Is obviously the idea being this deep line playmaker comes deep, dictates the play, moves through midfield. Palacios, ball midfielder, he will be the destroyer. So when there's a break on, he gets the ball back, and Bruno will be passing balls into these areas, having shots himself when it's appropriate. These guys bombing forward down the side. It's a very, I granted, and we're talking about it now, it's a very aggressive tactic I'm trying to employ here. I don't know whether this is actually workable or not, but I thought I'd just give you guys a chance to talk about it here. So I think this can work. The problem we've got is if we're going with, obviously I'm leaving on the screen a bit longer now, as in tactic. Mount would probably be the cam, right? Cam, it'd be a backup cam for Bruno Fernandes. I'm fine with that, not a problem. The ball midfielder, we don't have one if we're doing this, because they say Neves can play it. I'm not convinced that's his best role. Those who maybe bought him myself can let me know. I don't think did I do a review of this guy on the sides tomorrow? I mean, the idea, I could do that, I suppose, but I don't feel comfortable doing that. But looking at the tactic here, he's not going to be that. He could be a deep line playmaker. Or we make him a cam, which wouldn't be the worst thing in the world, right? So he could be a young cam. You're then looking at people like Thuram, who is not a ball-win midfielder. He could be a deep line playmaker, but he likes getting penalty area. So we've got a squad here that I think the first 11 can play the 4-2-3, one-position-based football, but I'm not sure who others can. Obviously, we have got the 4-3-3, which is this, which works really well, but it's not getting the possession that I like in big games, and it's not a formation that I'm keen on. I'm not getting the pressing. My theory is having that cam in there will help the press, because the idea being, we go to the screen here in transition, out the ball, out of position. You see here, if I go to 4-3-3, these guys are lower. This cam here is high up pitch. The idea being, what I'm trying to get, obviously I'm trying to get them to get the ball off the pitch, high up the pitch, and win it back. I did tackle them and win it back. But what I'm also trying to get them to do, if they can't do that, is to force the team we're playing against, if we pretend that Holland's the centre back, to go long, because with so much pressure, we're pinning the full-backs back, the wingers are pushing high, the cam's there, stopping the pass into midfield or to the DM. When they're ultra aggressive, they force the long ball. These centre-backs, or Llorente, whoever it is, wins the header, or it's a poor pass and we get the ball back, recycle and we go again. That's what I'm trying to get the team to do. I've been trying to get it to do it for 2 years on Football Manager. I can never get it to pull it off. And I think part of the reason is the player roles and instructions. Now, I could just download a tactic to do that, but I'd rather work it out between ourselves rather than say, oh, this tactic does it. No, I don't like doing that. Don't have a problem with tactics being downloaded and using them. If you want to do that, then by all means, go for it. Play the game how you want. But I think if I did that, it'd be a bit of a cheat, wouldn't it? Honestly, if I find a way of doing it, or we find a way of doing it, or you think what I'm doing here will work fine, just to get certain players in better positions, and it copies a tactic that someone's created, tactic creators on YouTube, and it's basically that's what he does. It'd be down to that I've just done it. I happen to be the same way. I've not just gone, oh, thank you, download, import, done. So this is where we're at. Now, we've got players like Isaacson. I think he could be a cam, right, in this 4-2-3-1 system. Though, saying that, looking at his traits, deep line playmaker role could be what we go with there. So that could be, he could be the direct placement for Llorente. We've got Menu. Again, could be a playing system. So we need to work out a system and then talk about some young players. So what does Menu become in the system? I think Menu's probably not going to be as good as he is in, I think he's deep line playmaker, honestly. I think he's a deep line playmaker as well. Honestly, I think he's got the passing, the technique, the vision. I think he's also a deep line playmaker. So you can argue these two here, Menu and Isaacson are both going to be deep line playmakers, right? Striker-wise, pressing forwards are fine. They can both do that. The right hand side is an issue. Anthony inside forward is fine. I mean, he's got like 11 goals, 7 assists. We do have players we can bring in. Sancho's probably going to leave the club at some point. So we do have obviously fullback as well, who's going to develop into quite a good fullback. So I think the building blocks are there for a system that can work with 4-2-3-1 with based on possession and high intensity pressing. It's how do I make the team do it how I want it? Is it even possible? That's what I'm getting at. And I'd rather do this in a video where we talk about this kind of stuff, because in a normal video, so to speak, it's hard to do this because it's during a live com for starters, and things happen in live comms, and I'm trying to work out how to win this game rather than thinking about long term. And of course, we need to work out which players are going to fit the system or not. Because if we decide, right, Jadon Sancho's not going to work in this system, where you're going to do it, right, bin him. If we don't think Thuram can fit in the system anymore now because we're moving to a different kind of style of football, right, sell him. You know, we paid £40 million for him. You know, move him on, right? I think if we go to 4-2-3 when this guy's snookered, because I don't think he can play the playmaker role. I mean, he could do it. I mean, playmaker role support. He could do it. Honestly, he could. But I was worried about, am I really using him to his full potential in that? I mean, he could do it. He ticks a lot of boxes for it. We could obviously take these off, like get that off, get the run off ball off and get the possession bit off more. But the idea being, of course, he's got to score 10 goals. But we don't need him to score 10 goals if Rashford's getting 20, if Andy's getting 15, Bruno's getting that number, Højlund and Strikers. We don't need him scoring goals. These are the four that are going to score the goals for us. These two are controlling the midfield and winning the ball back. So it's not an issue if we do it that way. So that's where we're at. Now, obviously, part of this could be the coaching, and I think we need to look at this as well. A lot of them are 5-star. I need to work on this and improve this. I'm not great at this. Honestly, what we may have to do is is it technical director does it? I'm trying to work out what. I think we get a better technical director and make him get the staff in to do it for us. That's another option as well. I don't know how successful that is. It would stop me from worrying about the coaching for a bit. I think the scouts, I can take control and run that. But I think technical director, I think we can do better, honestly. And then we let him do all this coaching assignments and work on who to bring in what positions. But yeah, that is also a thing we need to maybe look at. And I'm always struggling to get the best coach. I mean, he's my mate. Yeah, he's here. I think, you look at. Oh God, I can't talk. I'm trying to see where it is on here. Oh my God, my brain's gone to mush. Where is it on here? Staff. There we go. I mean, we're the highest in the division, so maybe they've done that right then. If you agree with that, maybe we can do better with these a bit. I want these to be highest in the Premier League for all of it. We're the best. So the coach actually is probably pretty good actually. Recruitment's the best as well. The physios could be better. So I want all to be yellow essentially is what I need to get at. So maybe I've done well here then, looking at this. Yeah. I mean, we've still got options. We've got vacant scout positions here. I think we could definitely do that as well. I think if we look at the scouting, look at the knowledge. Where is it on here? My brain. Oh, it's down here. We don't have. Where is the knowledge on this flipping thing? Am I being an idiot? Probably. But anyway, get better scouts in. Just increase the knowledge. Where's? There we go. I'm just looking at the wrong screen. There we go. So we could increase our scouting area. We've got outstanding, exceptional, and get these to very good, and get all these up. And we've got no knowledge of like areas around here, for example, and get all these to be at least green, and improve our scouting knowledge everywhere. Which is something I'd like to try and do. So we've got good range and everything. The only problem is working out what countries they are at a glance. But we can maybe look at it. Maybe I'll work that out. I know obviously some of these countries obviously are obvious, but it's working out what's best to do to increase the knowledge in these areas, and whether it's worth going into these areas, honestly, as well. So, in terms of the youth system, the youth team we have, players we have in this system, you've also got Sandy Norris, for example, who's 3-star, maybe 4.5-star potential, and you've got Gonzalo Acosta, who I think could be really good, potentially, and he could be good. But again, these guys are going to develop, and Shane Lacey, for example, again, could be decent. May have to move him on, though. So we need to decide what we're going to do with tactics. And then we've got a lot of players in here, to be fair. I mean, who could come to the first team. I mean, obviously, you've got players like this guy who I signed, who's worth a lot, who I signed for £4 million, and he could be fantastic as well. Severe Napan. And then you got Gumere, who I think is going to be really good. I think next season I can honestly see me billing off Sancho and just bringing these guys back up to Anthony. I really, really can. And then you've also got a young striker here who I'm not convinced to buy, but it was a cheap deal for £1 million. It might turn out to be a gem. It might not do. Obviously you've got Idiot Armenia, young goalkeeper again. I think we've got to look at goalkeepers as well at some point. So I'm really wanting to going forward on my save is to really go in depth. So I a lot of times get caught up in just recording episodes and getting through seasons and just doing the bare minimum. But I'd like to try and build a proper tactic and build something amazing. Because going forward, guys, every save that I do, this one included, will be released to you somehow. I'm not quite sure how I'm going to do that yet. It'll most likely be on a external file share website where I can download the save and say, here you go, guys. The save's over now because I've won Champions League, for example, and go nuts in your save. You can take it over. You can take it over. But yeah, I'm not sure how long I've been rambling on for, but it's probably been a decent amount of time, and I'm going to the cinema in about an hour. So yeah, guys, your thoughts on this? Any ideas? Any theories? I'm gonna try and work all this out as best I possibly can. But yeah, we will get there. I will hopefully, by doing one save at a time, doing offline save as well, I'll learn to play the game better. My biggest problem is I don't think I ever win a Champions League based on my tactical knowledge. I think I win it on having a far superior team and players being individually better than everybody else. That's why when I go down to a lower division and a lesser team, I struggle because I don't have the tactical knowledge to build a good tactic and understand things. And when I'm at Man United, I get our big teams like this. I get it kind of like masked a little bit because the players are so inferiorly good. I have so much money, so I need to try and get better at the game. And that's the big point I have on FM for years. Years ago, I was really good at it. I could take teams from any division and bring them up. But since the game's developed, I've started to struggle. But guys, your thoughts, guys? Am I barking up the wrong tree here, or am I onto something here? Let me know in the comment section. So if you have enjoyed, I appreciate it's a weird episode. Next episode is going to be the cup final. Don't worry, back to normal scheduled programming. Cup final against Norwich. That should be a banker. They are first in Championship, of course, but we should be banking that win in the cup final. So we another trophy. But we're generally playing well, but I want to do a certain thing with this team. And it's high position, and well, I talked about it earlier. I'm not going to go over it again. So guys, if you have enjoyed it, hit the like button down below. Subscribe if you're new as well. And I'll catch you guys all in the next one. Daily episode, guys. So every day you get a video from this series. Until next time, thank you so much for watching. Bye-bye.